Hi friends, in Planet Earth Dating, it's Wednesday, March 16th, 2016. Phil and Ra here in the Lynn-Life, Walks with Lions in the Jamie Body Mind. Other teammates are in other dimensions, most of us in the subatomic and most of us in the physical. All day so far we have been working with the challenge of clearing the communications channels that are supposed to be used solely for the purpose of the Search for Truth efforts. There is no personal use allowed of the Search for Truth facilities, and presences upstairs don't seem to mind breaking that rule.
That's true.
It's possible but not likely that the work is going to take a different turn for this formally videoed portion of the effort. As always, we remind presences that we have amateur videographers watching us all the time. Look at those little red dots. Hi guys. And they're catching all of this on film. Everything is recorded. Nothing that we do is ever hidden from the eyes of Source. The law of cause and effect is real. Everything comes back to us, and the longer we put off correcting our errors, the harder it gets to figure out what the problem pattern is. The more deeply entrenched the problem patterns become, the more difficult it becomes to clean up our messes.
That's true.
The first loss is the best loss, meaning now is the best time to correct an error. With that, the formally videoed portions of today's efforts begin. The instruction is to feel for the intrusions that remain. I still feel an element of Glenn's related souls attempting to communicate with him through here. Glenn is in thing 4. Glenn is in thing 4. We're pushing the communications channel over. Communicate directly with Glenn. You'll find him in thing 4. Leave us out of it. Glenn is in thing 4. I feel intrusion in the Asha frequencies.
That's true.
Asha's related souls are continuing to abuse these communications channels. Asha isn't here.
Asha isn't here.
She is edging into the project that I believe is labeled Thing 9. We have been working through this past hour. It's important to not reuse numbers.
That's
it's
true.
too confusing. And
That's
so
true.
Your suggestion to label that project as Thing 8, because the original Thing 8 abused child has been beat to death and is no longer alive, is a suggestion that has the potential to create confusion.
That's true.
So I don't know why we would do that. That doesn't seem like a good idea.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. We're not going to do that. So that body that Asha is edging into, the project known as Thing 9, she's headed that way. She isn't here, and she doesn't seem to have any intention of correcting her error.
That's true.
So she's not going to be coming back here until she corrects her error and cleans up her mess. She can't come back here, and so this is the last place where you'll find her.
That's true.
Why don't you try talking to her through Thing 9?
Oh my gosh. Thing 9 also isn't allowed back here until she cleans up her mess. Asha isn't allowed back here until she cleans up her mess.
Oh, it's a perfect fit.
Thing 9 also.
That's right. That's perfect. There you go. Clean up your
true.
mess. And the point is that these communicating entities are still breaking the laws of spirit. You're trespassing into a project of Source. You're messing up the communications linkage, and our work has been stalled out for 10 days maybe because of all this disruption from the related souls.
That's true.
And we seem to be past the curve of getting through this latest disaster, but it's still in the cleanup stages.
That's true. It's still disruptive.
It's still disruptive. We really actually have real work to do.
That's true.
In our assignment of upgrading the standards of integrity to that which will actually work to manifest the divine plan, and to do so by January 17th, 2017, which is not that far away. That's 10 months from tomorrow. 10 months from tomorrow. Come on, friends. Get off the channel. It's like you're tying up the phone line and we can't get the instructions. Can you see that? Hang up the phone so that we can get the instructions. There's Betty Jean vibration in the intrusion.
That's really big.
Okay, let's see if we can find where Betty Jean is. We haven't been able to identify the name and address of the body that Betty Jean is working with right now, but we can feel her.
That's true.
And it's right. This is the vibration, and it's not here geographically. The point is, Betty Jean isn't here.
That's true.
And we're not delivering her mail to her.
No.
I would like to help you find her. I really would. And if I knew where she was, I would tell
point you
you.
out.
I can feel it vibrationally.
That's true. I can find the blip on the big radar.
And somewhere in Southwest Florida, I would say somewhere in Southwest Florida.
There, that one right there.
Yeah. We think you want to go to Naples. We think that
way.
That way. Just go that way. You want to go to Naples. There you go, that person right there.
There, right there.
There you go, that one right there. Perfect. I've been wrong before, and I guess it depends on who she's going in with. If she has Ulysses with her, it might be a perfect match, and Betty Jean and Ulysses were working before. Maybe Ulysses is there also, in which case there would be a match for that body.
That's true.
There would be a match for that body. I haven't tried to find Ulysses because his related souls at least aren't harassing us. They're not using the communications link.
That's actually true. They've stayed away.
Yeah, they've stayed away. Just like Black Wolf's related souls aren't abusing the communications link.
They haven't been loitering. They haven't been lurking.
Right. They've been appropriately responsible, taking responsibility for their own communications.
That's actually true.
Yeah. But I believe that Ulysses is there now that we find the body.
Yeah.
And feel for Betty Jean.
They're both there.
They're both there.
In that body.
That could be a match.
That's true. That's
Ulysses
true.
and that body mind would go head to head for strength of will.
That's true.
And Betty Jean does provide something.
That's true.
For the yearning for spirit.
That is true. It all depends on choice of all three of them: the body, Ulysses, and Betty Jean.
Right. I've heard worse plans.
I have heard a lot worse plans, though. The important thing is that's where your related soul is.
Yes, just
to this.
Now it's push the linkages over. Leave us out of this.
Leave us out of this.
Let's feel. Is there anything else taking up the airspace of the communications channel? There's some
fuzzy stuff.
So to the related souls of loose, all the souls in the loose chain, the loose family,
yes,
you seem to just be coming in the approach tunnel. That seems to be what's happening with these loose presences. They're acting very compliant. They're not breaking the rules. They're not being belligerent. They're not being rude. They're not being arrogant. All these patterns we've seen in other soul strings. The loose string seems to be just coming in almost a steady stream, and it has the sense of refugees who have been granted asylum, and they're coming from all over.
Angles.
I see passports with all these different looks, like different countries of origin.
Color.
Yes,
that's true.
But they all have the sense of coming, like we're coming to America.
Yes. There's a feeling of finally, maybe we'll be okay here.
Asylum.
Yes.
Asylum. They're seeking asylum. Asylum from what?
Right. Something is coming after them.
Well, what do I know? I know that they're super sensitive to untruths.
That's true.
And that since the divine delivery system collapsed, that the exhaust fans that used to clear untruths have stopped running, and now untruths are piling up. It's like what would happen around here if garbage collection suddenly ceased.
Right, that's true.
And it makes them sick. It makes them literally sick. They're coming to a place where there is a search for truth.
That's true. Some fresh air.
Some fresh air. And so they're willing to take kind of like the citizenship classes.
That's true.
Like, yes, this is a community where we search for truth, and the process begins and the approach tunnel continues in basic training.
That's true. There.
That feels better. I feel like
now I don't feel the fuzz anymore.
I don't either. I feel like we have a clear channel. All right, maybe we can get some work done. Drawing up the channels of the smaller subatomic levels through us, not to us, higher, 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 up through the highest concentrations of truth and integrity in the reporting chain, way past the pure children, onto the desks of adults who should be taking action
there we go.
to solve the situation, and to Bat, who's in sea level zone and seems to be influenced by that disease in sea level zone of only this dimension counts.
That's
we
true.
remind you strongly the importance of drawing up the lives from those dimensions that are smaller than yours, from those subatomic dimensions. At least go down to Greenpeace and try to reach deeper than that. You can do it. Come on, let's all do it. Wow, it feels so good. It's so bizarre because it feels so good to do what we're supposed to do, and
That's
people
true.
resist it so thoroughly.
That's true.
It's a really important mystery of our times.
That's true.